Wow. Welcome to the show, everybody. The last 24 hours in American politics are the craziest 24 hours I've ever been involved with from the standpoint of covering them. And we had, I think, 6 hours of live streams yesterday, in addition to the broadcast show and the bonus show. And almost an impossibility to even keep up with what is going on. So today's show is going to be very different than any show we've done. We are, in a sense, we are winging it. And what I mean by that is I have about 13 or 14 different stories that I would like to talk about today. And we may get to all of them and we may not. In other words, I'm starting today not with every minute planned as we normally have, but with an idea of the things we should discuss. And we'll just jump into them. And I know a lot of you have been emailing me saying, I can't keep up. Well, we haven't been able to keep up either. So let's try to do justice to the last 24 hours, because the historical significance really cannot be overstated. Let's start with what happened yesterday. Yesterday, January 6th, was meant to be the day during which there would be a merely ceremonial counting of the electoral votes, which were cast on December 14th. In the November election, Joe Biden won via popular vote in the 50 U.S. states, winning some, losing some, getting enough electoral votes to become president. On December 14th, the electors in all 50 states certified their state's election. And on January 6th, those ballots already having been cast on December 14th, a joint session of the House and Senate, led by Vice President Mike Pence as president of the Senate, was to simply count those votes. Now, we knew there would be some chaos, because for 2 months, Donald Trump has been insisting without evidence that he actually won, that it was rigged, that he wants this state to be overturned, that he wants that state to be overturned, that there were massive dumps of ballots, that Mike Pence needs to do the right thing, and that something, and it wasn't just Trump, but many of his most sycophantic supporters who were hoping, planning, believing that something would happen yesterday that would prevent Joe Biden from being determined in that joint session by Mike Pence, the winner of the 2020 election. Now, I'll skip to the end. It happened. It was delayed by a few hours, but it happened, and we will get to that. But what we imagined would simply be some debate. We knew there would be senators and members of the House on the Republican side standing up and objecting to the counting of ballots from certain states, Arizona, for example, Pennsylvania, and others. We knew that would happen. We expected there would be a couple of hours of debate for each of those objections, but that ultimately Republicans didn't have the vote to hold up even a single state's votes from being counted, and that it might be 10 p.m., it might be 1 a.m., it might be 3 a.m., it might be this morning or later today. Eventually, they would run out of objections, they would run out of votes, and that would be it. But something else happened. Something else happened, which is that in the morning, Donald Trump incited an insurrectionist mob to march down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol building and wreak havoc, break down doors and destroy windows, commit property crimes, fight with police. Some police actually injured. And this was fomented directly by Donald Trump. And this is not to say that many of these folks didn't have this idea going into yesterday already. But I am going to show you how Donald Trump did this. Donald Trump literally told them what to do and later said, please be peaceful. But we will get to that. Here is Donald Trump at this wacky event. I don't know what they were calling it. It was a steal the election rally, essentially. Here is Trump again saying, Mike Pence, you'd better do the right thing.
The left knows exactly what they're doing. They're ruthless, and it's time that somebody did something about it. And Mike Pence, I hope you're going to stand up for the good of our Constitution and for the good of our country. And if you're not, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. I will tell you right now. I'm not hearing good stories.
Ultimately, Donald Trump ended up denouncing his own vice president, Mike Pence, and we will get to that later. Donald Trump continuing to fire up the crowd by saying the caravans are forming. Remember those caravans that up until the day before the 2018 midterms were every day in right-wing media? The caravans of dangerous Hispanic immigrants are coming. 2018 midterms happen. We don't hear about the caravans ever again until yesterday. Here is Trump ginning up more hate, by saying the caravans are forming because they know Biden will let them in.
But now the caravans, they think Biden's getting in. The caravans are forming again. They want to come in again and rip off our country. Can't let it happen.
And then here is Donald Trump just literally telling them what to do, saying we're going to march up Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to go to the Capitol. He told them what to do, and they did it. Take a look.
We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol, and we're going to try and give. The Democrats are hopeless. They're never voting for anything. Not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. So let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all for being here. This is incredible. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that is exactly what they did. While we were covering what I thought would just be really boring debate for hour after hour about Republican objections to the counting of ballots from certain states, we saw live, and we had over 1.1 million different people watch at least some piece of our live stream yesterday. We all saw with horror, most of us, as the angry mob of Trumpists became angrier and angrier, fighting with police, eventually overwhelming law enforcement. And there are many questions about how that happened. Where was law enforcement? And there's everything from speculation to conspiracy theories to mere belief of incompetence. And at some point we will sort that out. Overwhelming law enforcement, breaking into the Capitol, leading to Mike Pence being taken out of there by Secret Service, leading to House and Senate leadership being taken sort of in protective custody or, by security to safe locations, an evacuation of the House and Senate chambers, protesters and mobsters and rioters, I don't even know what to call them, broke into Nancy Pelosi's office, and they did exactly what would be on the logical end of 2 months of firing people up with lies, culminating with Trump saying at 12:30 p.m., half an hour before this all started, we're going to march over down Pennsylvania Ave to the Capitol. Eventually, after things got completely out of control, and I know I'm not going to get every detail right, or I'm not going to get every detail into the story. Discussions about do we deploy the National Guard, reports that Trump resisted, but ultimately Mike Pence made the decision to deploy the National Guard. Trump seemingly not wanting to deploy the National Guard against his own supporters. And eventually Donald Trump uploaded a video saying to people, it's time to go home. He says, you're great people. We love you. It was stolen. It was a landslide. Then we actually won, but it's time to go home. And that video was ultimately locked by Twitter, later removed by Facebook. I didn't even find it on YouTube. Unclear whether they uploaded it and it was removed. It was a video essentially defending the feelings and the actions, but saying it's time to go home and repeating the exact same stuff that ginned up the anger in the first place. Trump then also tweeted basically a defense of the rioters as he told them to go home. This was also removed by Twitter. Donald Trump saying, these are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. He is saying, this is what happens when you steal the election from me. It makes sense that this is what's happening. And then he adds, go home with love and in peace. Remember this day forever. Also ultimately removed from Twitter, Trump defending the actions of the violent rioters while sort of saying go home. So we're going to talk about reaction to this and the discussion of the removal of Donald Trump. We will, of course, cover the fact that Biden did get the votes yesterday. There are rumors that there will be more rioting today. And very important, there were only, as of now, 52 arrests yesterday, even though there were clearly hundreds, if not thousands of people who trespassed, did property damage, attacked police, broke the law in many different ways. The FBI has said it is a priority to identify every single person who did that. So I'm not going to call names out specifically on this show, but there are known right-wing activists and nuts who are pictured inside the Capitol and committing crimes, trespassing, etc. Let's help the FBI. There should be hundreds, if not thousands, of arrests from what happened yesterday. And there have only been 52 as of 5 minutes ago. So let's actually make justice be done, because these are folks who deserve a criminal record. We talk about someone holding a tiny amount of cannabis who ends up with a criminal record, and how insane that is. These are folks who deserve criminal records. OK, so let's do what we can to make that happen. So it's a new year, and for many people, that means new goals around getting fit or losing weight. And if part of that for you involves a low carb or ketogenic diet, then I have something you will want to check out. It's called So Ketolicious, and they're giving you 20% off. So Ketolicious has perfected ketogenic crusts for baking your favorite foods. They make a delicious keto dessert crust, which comes in a chocolate and vanilla flavor, and it's perfect for making things like pies. They also have a premium keto pizza crust, which I've been using at home to make pizzas, and it's great. It is great to go right out of the freezer, and when you cook it, it doesn't fall apart like a lot of other low-carb crusts do. It's high fat, which is perfect for keto. Grain-free, gluten-free, no soy or additives or preservatives or fillers, but most importantly, they just taste great. I can tell you firsthand. Just go to davidpakman.com/pizza. The link is underneath this video, and they'll give you 20% off your entire order when you use the coupon code Pakman.